Hello guys, welcome back to PatronesMujer. I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to make the model you see in the picture. We'll take pen and paper to write down the materials. You'll find the pattern description in the magazine Children's Pattern number 14. Once we have the pattern tracing from the magazine, we'll cut along the line of the side that we are going to make. These are finished patterns, so that means they have 1 cm seam, hems, and come with notches and gray lines. We fold the main fabric in half with the right side inside. Write your pattern pieces and prepare to cut them out. Each pattern piece has an arrow which refers to the gray line or the direction you need to lay out your pattern. Fold the main fabric, we face the right, and place front, which have a full edge, and we use the same pattern for cut the back of the skirt, but for the back we cut in half. Have a look where you place the pattern because we place the pattern on the line of the fabric, front and back, because have to match the lines of the fabric for size. We fold the fabric diagonal because the pieces from the top of the back and front, we are going to cut them on the bias. For the front, we have a full edge, but on the bias, and for the back, we have on the bias, but we have 2 pieces. This is the sleeve. We face the right and we cut 2 pieces. Remember to check the arrow to the green line. Remember, for the back we cut a half. Before to take off the fabric, take a look at the cape pattern making, the lines you find in the pattern, the notches, and speed them. For cut the lining of the skirt, we take the same pattern from the skirt, but we cut the dotted line you will find in the pattern. We have a full edge on the front and we use the same pattern for the back, but we cut it in half. We cut the top pieces from the front and for the back, but in this case we cut the pieces parallel to the selvage. For the front we have a full edge and for the back we have 2 pieces. We cut the bias tape, which are going to use for finish the neckline. First, we are going to check the pieces. From the main fabric, we have 2 sleeves, 2 pieces from the back, 1 piece from the front, 1 front piece from the skirt, 2 pieces from the skirt back. And for the lining, we have 2 top parts from the back, 1 invisible zipper, and white lace. We face the right of the skirt. front and back. We pin it and check to match the lines of the fabric. We are going to gather the top part of the skirt. We face the right top part of the back and the front, and we pin it on the side. We take the skirt and we sew from the top to the bottom for the sides, and we pass an overlock on the back separately. Close the other side. We pass a stitch on the top part of the skirt to all along. Next to the stitch that we have made, we pass another stitch poly next to it, and we pull the thread from the spool to get together. We close for the sides from the top part, front and back. We face the right of the skirt and the top part of the dress, and we pin the skirt with the top part and spray together to all along. We match the center of the skirt with the notch of the top part of the dress, and we match the sides. We start to sew to all along of the pieces. We face the gather up and start to sew. Important pressing with our fingers so that the foot of the machine does not get entangled. We are going to do the zipper of the back on the main fabric, but first change the foot for an invisible zipper because it will put the tip ever so slightly from the zipper tape, and it will allow you to sew really close in, and this foot will do all for you. Put the main fabric of right side facing up and sewing as close to the tip as possible because we need to position the zipper tip into the groove of the foot. From the cut to down, the large of the zipper is 10 or 11 centimeters. You need to make sure that you have a little bit room between the seams allowance and where the zip starts so that you don't get any little pokers. Mark with a removable pen the cut of the zipper and the end where you finish past the stitch, so that helps to match the zipper. And for this side, it's exactly the same as we did for the first side. So if you remember, we turn the stitch into the groove of the foot. Gonna finish this off by closing off the remainder of fabric, line up with your ends and stitch all the way down. This is the sleeve. We overlock the cuff and we press the cuff with the iron. Face the right and pin it for the side, and the other sleeve we do the same process. This is how it's going to look the sleeve, and we have to match the notches. We close the sleeve for the side. We start at the top to the bottom. We fold the cuff and the notch that we did, and we pass the stitch around the cuff. The other sleeve is exactly the same as we did for this one. Now, we are going to close the sleeve with the body dress. We start to sew from the neckline. We match the notches from the back, the side, and we continue with the front. Have to match the notches from the front. And the other sleeve is the same process that we have made for this one. This is the white lace. This size is 6 or 7 centimeters of width. We pass a stitch to all along of the piece and do another one next to the stitch that you have made. And we pull the thread from the spool to get together. This is the skirt. We pass our overlock and we press with the iron for do the hem. We fold a half centimeter the lace and we spread and pin the gather to all around of the neck. We face the right of the skirt, front and back. We pin it, and we are going to gather the top part of the skirt. We face the right part of the back and the front, and we pin it on the side. We fold half centimeter and we pass a stitch. We take the wool lace and we spread on the neckline and we sew to all the neckline. we fold 1/2 centimeter and we pass a stitch. We take the skirt and we sew from the top to the bottom for the side, and we pass our loop on the back separately. We pass a stitch to the top part of the skirt to all along. Next to the stitch that we have made, we pass another stitch parallel next to it, and we pull the thread from the spool to get together. We take the top part front and back, and we close for the side. We face right of the skirt and the top part of the dress, and we pin the skirt with the top part and spread together all along. We match the center of the skirt with the notch of the top part of the dress, and we have to match the sides. We close for the sides from the top part, front and back. We face the gather up and start to sew. Important pressing with our fingers so that the foot of the machine does not get entangled. Now, we are going to do the zipper and the neckline. We pin on the back and all around of the neckline. We pin all around of the neckline. We have to match the notches, the shoulders, pay attention how I pin the dress, because this is how it's gonna be the process of sewing the dress. This is the bias which is going around of the neckline. Face the right of the fabric and pass a stitch to all along on the back. Close the zipper, first one side and later the other side. We close the back of the lining. and we close the back of the lining. This is the neckline of the back, and we close the lining and the main fabric by the neckline, and we sew to all around of the neckline. This is the neckline of the front, and we close the lining and the main fabric by the neckline. We sew the lining and the main fabric by the sleeve, so we pass a stitch on the sleeve and go all around of the sleeve. The other sleeve is the same as we did for the before one. This is the neckline, and we are going to sew the bias on the neckline. We fold the bias by the half and we press with air. Lay on the bias on the neckline. We leave 1 centimeter outside and we pass a stitch to all along of the neckline. At the end, you have to leave also 1 centimeter. Cut the excess of the fabric around the neck. Clip the seams allowance, especially in the most curved parts of the neckline. We fold again the bias and we pass another stitch to all along of the piece. We fold the centimeter that we leave before and pass the stitch. We fold the centimeter that we leave before and pass a stitch. Pull the bias and pass another stitch to all along the bias. When you arrive at the end, fold the centimeter inside and take a couple of back stitches at the end. When you arrive at the end, fold the centimeter inside and take a couple of back stitches. We are going to sew the white lace with the skirt. Also, check the large of the dress, because it depends the large of the lace you will use. In this case, I'm using 6 or 7 centimeter wide. Leave 1 centimeter at the start and sew the white lace to all around the skirt. At the end, leave 1 centimeter without a stitch. That is for clothes or lace. And close the lace. Close the part that we left without sewing. And we have finished our dress. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up, and it will be great if you follow us. You will find new tutorials and more things. Remember, the account is at PatronesMujer, and as always, thank you guys for watching the video.